Hey, what's up, y'all? Right now what I'm doing is an assisted Bulgarian split squat. I'm using a foam roller to kind of help me with my balance. The foam roller also gives me enough support, but not too much, where I'm pushing myself a lot, because I really have to stabilize and still work on my balance. So how you're gonna get set up is you're gonna put your back foot on something that's elevated about 6 to 10 inches. As you can see right here, I have some weight plates, but if you have something like some step-up boxes, an elevated platform to put that back heel on. So first, we're gonna put that back heel on there just like there on the edge, drop that knee down. All right, and then once you're set up, you wanna get into position to where that heel is directly over that knee, and you're gonna be a slight angle forward. That way you get a lot of stretch on that glute, and you should feel the tension right there. If you feel too much tension on that back leg, that hip flexor, it likely means that that back leg is elevated a little bit too high. As you can see from the side, my back thigh is almost directly up and down. For example, if I had something that's a little bit more elevated, like a bench, like most gyms have, as you can see right there, my back leg has an angle backwards, and I'm feeling a lot of tension on my hip flexor, which is gonna take some of that load off of that front leg. So only use something that's a little bit elevated, 6 to 10 inches, not something high like most gym benches. You're gonna wanna put that foam roller on the opposite side of the leg you're currently working. So if you're doing your right leg, have that foam roller on your left side, just like that, to help you with the balance and shift. Again, for your setup, put that back foot on the edge of right there, and then you wanna set up first before you actually go up. So again, that thigh is straight up and down. I wanna put that heel to rest directly over that knee. That way when we get to the bottom of that movement, my knee isn't going far too over those toes. Have it lean forward, and then if you're doing your left leg, you're gonna put that foam roller on your right. If you're just using one foam roller, I'm gonna show you how to use two. So keep that angle forward. As you can see at the very top, I'm almost making a straight line with my torso and my back leg. Control that weight down and press and squeeze. You'll see that my knee does not go past those toes. If they're going over those toes like this, it means when I'm coming down, I'm shifting that way forward, which is what I don't want. That's more of a quadricep focused Bulgarian split squat. Right now, we're going for a regular one to help target the glutes in its mid-range. So, we're gonna have that right here. Nice and controlled, gentle tap, and press to that front foot. As you're going down, still imagine like you're pushing that foot into the ground, and on that way up, squeeze that midsection and push that heel like you want to press it down through the ground. If one foam roller isn't enough and you still find yourself losing balance, you go ahead and put two, one on each side of that front foot, and just like that, you can go and help yourself up, work up to that stability to where you're able to do it without those foam rollers. If you don't have foam rollers, this also works with a pair of dumbbells. Same principle, you can put one on each side or just use one, and you're gonna go up right there. It's gonna be a little more challenging because you don't have it at the very top, just at the very bottom to help yourself up. So you can start off with those foam rollers because it's gonna be a little bit higher, and then transition out of that with these dumbbells. So whenever you're doing them and the foam rollers are getting too easy, you could go ahead and drop it down, shorten that height of the assistance. That way you can only help yourself at the very bottom, the hardest movement, and pressing up. Now, I highly recommend doing this with a foam roller or even another dumbbell. You want to make sure that the form is solid, that the knee doesn't go past those toes. So what you can do is, on this one, I can go ahead and get my set up, put that foam roller right there in front of those toes. That way when I'm coming down, I can see that my knee is not getting close to that foam roller and have a visual representation of how far exactly my knee is over those toes. Because sometimes it is hard, you're struggling, you're sweating, so make sure to help yourself out a little bit. Use a foam roller just like that to make sure every rep is just as good as the first. Try not to knock it down. If you go too much forward, it's going to be knocking it down, which we don't want. Last little tip, if you always find yourself struggling for balance, that can mean that you're doing this on accident. So if you have one foot directly behind the other, so for example, you look at me straight on and you can't see my back leg, it means my feet are too narrow. The front foot and the back leg are almost in a straight line, which is gonna reduce our stability in this movement. How you can help yourself get set up with this? So when you're setting up, make sure that your feet are about hip width apart. as you can see right here, it's literally almost as if I was just standing right here and I just put my back leg right there on that platform, and then that way I have enough support with my back leg. I'm not going in too narrow like this, giving me less stability in this movement.